Hi everyone, so this is a unboxing of Renegade. This is the Kickstarter edition. I assume they're doing a retail version because there's these tuck boxes here are Kickstarter exclusive, so I'm guessing that means that there'll be a retail version. Actually, this is actually quite a surprise because I got an email from the Kickstarter saying that they started shipping the games in North America, but nothing about Europe or the UK at all. So it's quite nice for this to sort of turn up out of the blue. So I just thought I'd show you what came in the box, and then we'll unbox it separately. So you've got, these are, from memory, these were extra. We had to pay extra for these, I think. So they're just additional card packs. So this one is Christmas at the Hack Shack. From memory, the Hack Shack is sort of like what you'd call the market in a deck building game. So basically additional cards that you can buy with in-game currency. Fire and Chaos Booster Pack 2. The other one being Booster Pack 1. You can see there what it is. So I'm quick reading it myself. So countermeasures and 1 SMC, which I think is an enemy from memory. So the what you're trying to beat in the game. And then, as I said, these are the you can see yourself what it is. So we'll look at these in more detail in a moment, but the Kickstarter edition has tuck boxes for you to keep your decks in, and that was an exclusive. And then we have the game itself. So I just get this all out, get the box out of the way, and then we can look at a bit more detail. Okay, so have a look at the main game first of all. It's got there's a hand for not the size of my hand, I guess. But anyway, there's a hand for scale. It's actually quite a small box, which obviously isn't an issue because I'm sure, like most of you, I'm also struggling for shelf space, so a smaller box is welcome. It's designed, as you can see there, by Richard Wilkins, who I'm sure most of you know anyway is Ricky Royal, who's a YouTuber. Anyone who's tried to play Mage Knight has no doubt watched his excellent videos on that, and many other excellent videos he does as well, so which is good. And I had to say, when I watched the videos of how to play this during the Kickstarter campaign, in some ways it reminded me a bit of Mage Knight, that the combination of cards and everything, that's what attracted me to it. So it's a cyberpunk game, and these are characters that the players play in game that are hackers. Just have a quick look at the size, if there's anything exciting on there. Doesn't seem to be particularly. There we go, and then we go on the back. So 1 to 5 players, 90 minutes, 14 plus years. There's a little bit of spiel there about what's going on. So yeah, as I said, hackers fighting super massive computers, SMCs, that control the population. So it's a co-op, obviously, and I say obviously because it's a solitaire game as well, which generally means it's a co-op. There were some stretch goals within the campaign, but I assume that they'll also, apart from the tuck boxes we looked at earlier, I assume that there will also be in the retail version. So for example, there was an extra hacker, which is this guy on the back here, and also from memory the tiles are reversible. There was something technical about the dice as well that some of you may understand, to do with heat transference or something in terms of the printing process. So let's see what we have. Well, I can actually get in. There we go. There is actually some art on the sides as well, actually. So that's the obviously little bios of some of the hackers. So first of all, we've got the rule book, which is colour, which is great. What else is so? Got a walkthrough at the back there, which is always helpful. And again, we've got little, which is not bios, it's the special powers that each hacker has. Then this is the playing board, and one of the just pop it out. One of the stretch goals was double-sided. At this stage, I don't know the difference between. Well, I do know the difference. That's all blue and that's multicolored. Obviously, it's a different mode of play. I'm assuming. From memory, these shapes on here are also relevant to, as well as the colours. But obviously, not having played it and watched a video about it months and months ago, I don't really remember what that actually means. So here we go. Again, double-sided tokens as well. They're relatively, they're not bendy, but they're relatively thin and light feeling, but I don't think that really makes a huge difference. This is some kind of currency marker down here. More tiles. Some tokens and obviously some standees. Again, the colour coding of the hackers is relevant, and obviously something to do with the colour coding on the hexes as well. And there's one of each colour. So again, that was something that in the Kickstarter campaign, that a stretch goal was additional characters. So if we look at the character cards, not that one, this one, for example, is double-sided. So I think Tilda was the main character, and then there was an unlock for this character, Tokyo Black, for example. And obviously at the moment none of this makes any sense at all, but it's obviously a summary of the actions they can undertake. And this is, I think this looks similar to what we were just looking at in the rule book earlier, which is the special pouches that each of them have. Again, these are quite thin, to be honest, but again, they do the job. So we have Hetty Magnetic and the Techno Twins. Monty Quantum, cool name. And Devon Dex Romeo, another cool name. Ocean Nore and Angel Nitrate, another cool name. So very good names. Some additional mags, which is good. So these are the, as it says on the back, SMC. So these are the enemies that you're set up to beat. Let's see how many we get. So again, from watching the videos, I think this is the tutorial level. And as you can see, these skull and crossbones are obviously indicating the difficulty levels. So yes, that's the tutorial level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 different enemies to play against. Top one being called Mother. Got some standees for the characters, and some dies or dice, depending on your preference. So quick look at these. Again, I seem to remember that these ones are to do with the difficulty. So you have bronze, silver, and gold, and they have different numbers on them. Well, I mean, I don't mean just 1 to 6. So, for example, the gold has 6. Opposite, it's got 3, for example. There you go. So there's no 1 on the here, or 2, for that matter. Whereas if we look at bronze, clearly it has got 2, but it doesn't seem to have a 1, does it? No. So they're slightly different to the norm. Can't remember what the red and black dice are for, but there they are anyway. And the other dice we have are an actual 1d6 and special dice, which is obviously to do with this, I think they're called sectors from memory, or servers potentially, the hexes we saw earlier. So purple, and that's the symbol presumably for purple, etc. Okay, and as you'd expect for a deck builder, a whole bunch of cards. So these are linen finish, and let's see what the, sorry, just off camera, just do it on camera already. See if the backs are any different. These are command cards. I think all of them command cards. Yep, seems to be. And these look to be, yeah, I'm assuming the skills that are in your deck. Again, you can see they're color coded. So I'm guessing, therefore, that these are the decks for your characters, maybe the starting decks potentially, which is actually really good, because you think how many characters we had when I flicked through earlier. There's quite a lot of variety there if you're only allowed to use the blue or the green or whatever it might be if you're playing that particular character. Card art's really nice actually. It's very sort of neon cyberpunk as you'd expect, given the overall theme. These sort of William Gibson sort of cover art sort of look to them. Again, they're relatively thin feeling, but not enough to be a problem, but also not super high quality, I would say. And this deck, we've got some more command cards, but we've got something different as well, so let's have a look and see what that is. So, yeah, so you've got command cards again colour coded. That looks very similar to Syndicate, which is a game that if you're old like me, you would have played on the Amiga or something similar to that. Again, this has like there's quite a few of each, so it looks like standard cards. Are there any special abilities or anything like that? And then we have these cards. Oh no, sorry, a few more command. Oh, there we go, these are the different ones. So these look to be the SMC's cards. Double-sided. This is obviously the same iconography as you get on the SMC, so it's obviously something to do with them. Also in bronze, by the looks of it, silver, so quick look, yeah, and gold. So again, it's going to be to do with the difficulty, I'm assuming. So a quick look at one. Gold. All avatars must be on a partition having a neutral hub. Not on faith. This game, none of this makes any sense to me or you, I'm sure, if this is the first time you've just looked at this game. Okay, so that's what's in the box, and then the other stuff that I got was, let's do them in order. So we have Christmas at the Hack Shack. I can't know if I showed you the back here, I think I did. But 10 advanced command cards is basically what's in here. So these are obviously additional cards you can buy. The Hack Shack being the mark here, as I mentioned earlier. As it's Christmas, got a Christmas tree. Again, I really like the art. And just the general layout of the cards, actually. Can't see, I don't know if that's the cost. It is, in fact, because there it says cost. That's helpful, isn't it? So yeah, these are obviously the in-game currency you need to spend to buy these, presumably. And then booster pack 2, if I can actually see it. There it is. Fire and Chaos. I remember I did show you the back of that one earlier. So this has an additional SMC on it, which is a 4 difficulty one called Logie or Logie. Everyone, I would say it was Logie, but up to you. And some of those additional cards that we saw earlier, which are the SMC's powers, I'm guessing, with the double sides. And then the other thing in my parcel is the Kickstarter exclusive tuck boxes. So there's one for each colour of character. So, and again, they're double-sided. So you've got each character. Oh, it was double-sided, wasn't it? No, apart from him, because he's not double-sided on the card either, if you remember. It's Monty. Monty Quantum's definitely my favourite one, I think, in terms of name. And there's one for the Hack Shack and one for the SMCs. So there you have it, Renegade. So hopefully I'll have a look at the rules this afternoon, play it, and then actually have some idea of what I'm looking at. But I hope that was of some use to you if you're either getting the Kickstarter at some later point or if you're going to buy it from retail. See you soon.